For decades, the console wars have always been this battle of, well, brute force, right? It's all about who's got more teraflops, who's got the faster SSD. And yeah, the PlayStation 5 sets some insane new standards for graphical power. But a completely different kind of revolution is brewing for the PlayStation 6. And this one, it's not about muscle. It's all about intelligence.
So that brings us to this really fundamental question. What if the next console war isn't about power at all? What if it's not a race for the most powerful hardware, but for the smartest? We're talking about a huge shift here, moving away from just raw processing muscle to something that's way more intelligent and adaptive. Let's really break down what that change means.
Okay, so you can really see the change in philosophy right here. The PS5, it was all about graphical horsepower and pure speed. The big question was, what awesome stuff can we run on this thing? But the rumored approach for the PS6, it's just completely different. By focusing on intelligent processing and real-time player analysis, it's asking a much deeper question. How do we, the players, actually experience it? And right at the heart of this new way of thinking is a rumored piece of hardware, the AIPU, or AI Processing Unit. Now get this isn't just some software patch or an update. We're talking about a dedicated brain, literally built right into the core of the console's architecture. Its entire job is to understand the game, and even more importantly, to understand you.
And that leads us to the first massive leap forward. Games that are no longer one size fits all. I mean, we are talking about experiences that are molded to your very own DNA as a player.
I mean, let's be honest for a second. Personalization in games right now, it's pretty superficial. Sure, we can tweak our graphics settings, we can remap our controller buttons, and we can choose between dialogue option A or B, but the actual core experience, it's basically the same for everybody. The game itself doesn't really change for you.
So the solution that's being talked about is this concept called adaptive gaming. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a system where the game is constantly analyzing not just what you do, but how you do it. Your patterns, your habits, maybe even your emotional state through the controller. And the whole goal is to tailor the experience in real time just for you. So, what does that actually look like in a real game?
Well, this is where it gets really cool. Imagine this. Let's say you love to play stealthily. The game notices that and starts generating more shadows, more quiet takedown opportunities for you. But if you're an all-out brawler, it starts throwing more enemies at you in wide-open arenas. The AI could literally change where items are located, alter what characters say to you based on your journey, and maybe even use advanced sensors in the controller to tell if you're feeling scared or excited, and then adjust the atmosphere to match. The bottom line here is that every single playthrough becomes this unique, evolving story that only you will ever experience.
But okay, this kind of personalization goes way beyond just gameplay mechanics. The next huge innovation could tackle one of the oldest, most immersion-breaking problems in all of gaming. Those characters that just feel like puppets on a string.
Come on, we've all been there, right? You talk to an NPC, you exhaust every single dialogue option, and from that moment on, they just repeat the same canned phrases over and over. It doesn't matter how good the writing is, you eventually hit that wall and the magic is broken. You remember, oh yeah, I'm just talking to a computer program.
Well, the tech that could shatter that wall for good is large language models. You've probably heard of them as LLMs, integrated directly into games. This is the kind of AI that can generate completely new, natural, and context-aware dialogue on the fly, based on everything that's happening in the game world and everything you've done up to that point.
And look, this isn't just a small step forward. It would be a total quantum leap. NPCs could become these living entities that actually remember that you saved their village 10 hours ago, and then they'll bring it up in a totally new conversation later. Every single chat could be unique, opening up unexpected quests or revealing new lore. Characters could have their own opinions that actually change over time. For RPGs, this is a complete game changer. It would totally blur the line between a scripted world and a living, breathing one. All right, next up, let's talk about something every single gamer has a strong opinion on: difficulty settings. That rigid, decades-old system of easy, normal, hard that we all grew up with? Yeah, it might finally be on its way out. So what's the problem with easy, normal, hard? Well, it's just such a blunt instrument. My idea of normal is totally different from your normal. And what happens? It often leads to pure frustration when a game is just too punishing, or total boredom when it's way too simple. It's a one-size-fits-all solution for something that is so personal.
So, the fix for this is something called dynamic difficulty. Just imagine an AI working behind the scenes, almost like a secret movie director. And its only job is to make sure the game is perfectly tuned to your skill level at all times, keeping you in that perfect sweet spot, that state of flow.
So how would this secret director actually work? Well, first, the AI is constantly monitoring how you play, in real time. Is it detecting that you're getting frustrated? Maybe you're stuck on a boss? It could subtly, slightly lower the boss's health or make its attack patterns a little more predictable. Or what if you're just breezing through an area? It might beef up the next wave of enemies or make a puzzle just a tiny bit more complex. But here's the key. All of these adjustments would be so seamless, you'd never even notice them. You would just feel perfectly challenged and totally engaged the entire time.
Okay, so let's recap. We've got adaptive gameplay, NPCs that feel alive, and dynamic difficulty. But what's really exciting, what ties this all together, is that these aren't just separate features or tricks. They're all part of one single, unified, and pretty groundbreaking concept.
And that concept is the AI agent. Think of this as the overarching intelligence that connects everything. It's this persistent, constantly learning entity that basically lives inside your console, personalizing not just one game at a time, but your entire gaming ecosystem. Seriously, think of it as the ultimate gaming partner. It could pop up with a suggestion if you're stuck on a tough battle. It could guide you towards side quests that it knows you, specifically, will enjoy based on how you play. It could even handle the boring stuff, like automatically optimizing game settings or personalizing your control scheme based on your habits. It might even be able to change the game's soundtrack based on your mood. It learns who you are as a player, and it evolves right alongside you.
So what this all really means is that your console is no longer just a machine. It's not just a tool you use to play games. We're moving into an era where it becomes an active partner in your entertainment, something that shapes experiences with you and for you.
And honestly, the potential here goes way beyond just having more fun. A future when games can adapt to you, challenge you perfectly, and create these dynamic stories that really resonate with your choices, well, they become something more. They could become powerful tools for learning, for personal growth, and maybe even for self-discovery.
Which leaves us with one last, really fascinating thought to chew on. In a future where your game truly understands you, your habits, your fears, your triumphs, your unique playstyle, what will you end up discovering about yourself?